Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we have another episode of Biomutant here where we are doing a deep dive into the crafting menu and of course the crafting itself, because the game doesn't really tell you too much about the crafting and leaves you a little bit to your own devices, and well, that leads to a lot of mistakes and a lot of wasted resources. So let's talk about the basics, shall we? To make one thing clear, if you didn't catch that, this is not a video where you can min-max your equipment and how you get the most OP weapons and armor in the game. That's not what we are talking about here, but we are literally talking about the basics. Now, before we go into the crafting itself, let's start with what do you need for crafting? Well, you can see it already down here. You need multiple items. You need scrap, wood, plastic, rubber, yeah, that's a tire, and then you need some e-garbage or just computer chips. And where do you find them? All over the world. They are like totems in the world you can just harvest, or you're killing enemies and then you get them. Like, again, there are tons of ways how to get them, or you can of course just scrap an item if you so desire. Like, you can just go here and say, hey, let me dismantle this, and then it will show you how much scrap you will actually get out of this. This is very important because sometimes you will find items where you might think, okay, the items I'm getting out of here is not that good, so let's not scrap it and let's just sell it for the price you can see right here. This is how much money you get, or leaves. That's the currency in the game. And you might want to think about that. Like, what is more important at that point? The money you would get or the resources you would get out of it. So keep that in mind. But now let's talk about the crafting. Let's go back to the shoulders, and you can already see the rarity of the different items. Like, this one is green, this one is purple. To make something very clear, purple is not the same thing like you know from other games. Like, purple is literally common and green is the next higher one, and that is uncommon. You can see rarity 20, it goes up to 100, or 100 is the highest I've ever seen. And then you have also the quality and the material. This one is defunct 2 and anno 3. What now? What does that mean? Well, basically means it explains to you how good the material and the quality is. And defunct 2 is not really that great. Like, I think it can go up to defunct 3, and even anno is not that great. And you can increase those qualities. Like, this quality is lousy and the material is just composite 1. So unfortunately, you have to learn a little bit what those terms exactly means, and you can upgrade the quality and the material of an item, but we will talk about that in just a few minutes. So the easiest way to understand right now if an item is good or not, just look at the stats on the right side. Like, you can see the difference here. Like, I'm wearing this shoulder right now, which gives me 9 armor and nothing else, and this one would give me 13 armor and a little bit more health. So look out for that and go with the stats. If you really don't want to do that, you can also look at how much money you would get from the vendor. Like, you can see here clearly there is a difference in money you would get, and the same goes with, let's say, the torso. Like, you can see like the huge differences in how much money you would get by selling it. But to make it absolutely clear, this is not something you should do often, because yes, this vest here in particular would give me 7,000, but the bomber jacket I cannot wear yet, stat-wise, is so much better for my character, because it gives me more armor and it gives me more health, and I am a close quarter combat fighter who is in the thick of the fights. So this might be great for mages and for people who like to be like super nimble and whatnot, but this one is clearly better for me. So the best way to figure out like if this item is good for you or not, just look at the stats and compare it. That's how it works the best. Now, how can you modify things? Well, modify your armor is pretty simple. You just go into the modification thingy, and then you have multiple slots. Those slots are also changing depending on the item. You can see it right here that we have 3 add-ons, and this one has 4 add-ons, so you would have 1 add-on more. But you can just click on it, and then you can just put like an add-on right there, and that add-on will change your stats on the right side. And you have to find like the add-ons which makes the most sense for you. As I said before, they will cost you also some crafting materials, but it's not too expensive. But they can give you a huge boost, like you can see it here with the divider. I think it's the divider, which will just give you tons more armor. And you can use all the slots on an item. So sometimes you will find an item which might look a little bit weaker than the one you have, but because it has more slots than the item you're wearing, you can make a pretty powerful item out of this. Another thing how you can realize how good like your item really is when you look at the stars, right? That will show you how good this item actually is. But it really comes down to the stats. Don't look too much at this, look at the stats and what actually will help you. And then change the stats on how you need stuff and what you need to create the character of your choice. So again, like doing crafting with your equipment is pretty simple, like with the armor. But where it gets kind of complicated is when we are looking at weapons. So you can craft a completely new weapon from scratch, or you can go into a weapon and just modify it. Like you see right here, it works a little bit like it would work with the armor, right? You can just click on the add-on and then you can add a few things here and there. But what you can also do is you can completely craft a weapon from scratch. And you see right here, there are tons of options. Like you start out with the blade, and we're just using this one. So this is the base type, this is the blade, and then everything from here on is up to you, like the handle or like the screw you want to put there and get some more armor piercing. Yes, a small screw or a pencil is giving you more critical chance in armor piercing. Don't ask, just let it happen. And again, melee weapons are still very simple because they don't really have a lot of parts. And yes, we want to discard this. So let's talk about the range weapon. One thing, I have been a dingus. I haven't seen the range weapon up here. I have completely missed that. So it was in my crafting menu and was like, man, where can I craft the range weapons? Am I blind? And the answer is yes, I'm totally blind. You just click on ranged, and again, you can modify your weapons. This is actually a weapon I completely crafted from scratch. Yep, this one right here. And you can just say, okay, I want to craft a new weapon. So you start again with the base type, and you can see like the type of ammunition it uses. So this is a rifle part. That means it doesn't shoot that fast. Then we have the shotgun part, and those are like special parts which give you, as you can see right here, this would actually add some cold damage to the weapon. And you can just start with that, and then you choose like all the things you want to add, like the grip, what you want. This one looks snazzy. And then you can actually add more to the grip if you so desire. Like you can put like another stock there. And the same goes, of course, with the top part. Yoink. The magazine, unfortunately, we do not have a magazine. It's kind of weird. Just because you don't have a magazine, that doesn't mean you cannot use the weapon. Those weapons are coming with an internal magazine, and the extra magazine you would just add would give you a faster reload speed or a bigger magazine size or something like that. And then you can, of course, add the muzzle. Always look at what that does to the weapon, because you can see right now that my fire rate is pretty low. And that is really, really important. Like, I have created a shotgun earlier. Let me show you that. This one right here. And you can see that the weapon itself is pretty amazing. It has all the cool things, but unfortunately it shoots very low. And as a shotgun, that's not really what I expected. So make sure you're looking out for that. This one doesn't even have a stock. And let me show you that very quickly. Or not. Let me do that. I have not played this game with mouse and keyboard, so please excuse me if I'm stumbling a little bit with mouse and keyboard. But this is the shotgun. Like, it reloads super slowly, as you can see.
It's relaxer clock somewhere.
Badly. And that's the shooting speed. So, yeah, keep that in mind when you craft your own weapon, because you might end up with a very slow weapon, and that's not really what you looked for. So that's very, very important. Now, there is one last thing when it comes to crafting, and this is where we actually left the crafting menu, and you will find those outposts, or those cities right here. They have this little balloon thingy. That's how it looks. Like, let me actually show you that from afar. There it is. Have a look out for those balloon thingies, because they have the upgrade stations. So you can just go up here, yoink, and then you can upgrade, let's say, your weapons. You can just go here, you can modify, and then you can raise the quality of that weapon or the material, so it would change from Defunct 2 to Rickrack 1, and as you can see it already on the right side, it will increase your damage and of course your armor piercing, and the same goes with the material. So you can also do that to, let me show you that over here, you can also do that to your equipment. Whoops, that was the wrong button. Like right here, right, when you think that pow wow level 5 is not enough, you can upgrade it to Boostoid 2. But the higher you upgrade your materials and your quality, the more it costs when it comes to resources. You can see it already down below. Like, it will cost me 5 of everything, and I don't have that much. The only thing you cannot upgrade is the rarity. That's something you have to find. Like, I haven't found a way yet how you can upgrade your rarity. Maybe later on there will be one in the game. But right now, where I have been, you cannot upgrade that. So the rarity has to be something you have to find. And then everything else you can modify and upgrade. And just create the most weird looking character of your choice. Yeah, let's do that. But that was a first look at a little bit of a deep dive when it comes to the crafting and Biomutant. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see me playing this game live, you can do so right now at trovo.live/ChaosMole. We will stream this game for most of the week, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And we will be back with more Biomutant coming down the road. I have more planned. And again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. And if you're new to the channel, you want to see more Biomutant videos, more reaction videos to other games, live streams, reaction to like announcements, and of course tons of other guides and tips to other games, I would appreciate if you might consider to drop a subscription. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Stay safe.